Risk management is that one area for every chapter that can shut the doors permanently. And oftentimes for the chapter advisor, they're focused on so many different aspects of that fraternity all across the board, and so many things that are on their plate that little things in terms of risk management fall through the cracks. So if we can get someone on board to be focused completely on risk management, and with the inner workings of the chapter involved with parties, events, different things taking place in the chapter house, I think we can alleviate a lot of the risk involved with having a chapter running its day-to-day course on campus. Every chapter has a risk manager. Sometimes there's a sophomore, and if you've got a chapter size 80, 90 men, then it's very hard for one individual in the house to control the actions of the rest of the chapter, especially when a lot of people have group mentality. All it takes is one individual to do something, and then the rest of the chapter follows right suit. If we have an advisor specifically geared to risk management, then it's really going to help mentor and guide those individuals involved with setting the pace of what's happening within the chapter house on campus. In terms of mentoring roles, all the advisors are mentors to chapter members. I think for the main chapter advisor, you're a mentor to every single individual in the chapter house. I know you can't always have a personal relationship with each one, but if you know their name, it goes a long way. And you have more of a connection with these guys. When you see them on a weekly basis, they don't want to disappoint you. That they know what you expect from them, and that you have a great love for the chapter. Whether or not you're a Delt, whether or not you're even a Delt from that chapter that you're advising, they know that you have a connection to them, and that you're donating your time and your talents to better the fraternity itself. So once they know that and they understand it, they're more apt to follow the right course. Our stance on drugs and alcohol are very simple. First of all, drugs, not to be used by any individual on campus or off campus, period. In terms of alcohol, underage drinking, not to be condoned. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but we have to teach our undergraduates the best that we can to be responsible and to live by the law and by the rules of the fraternity. I believe the honor board is very important for chapters to have as a working system to control the actions of those individuals that are causing risk to the chapter. Honor board needs to meet regularly. They need to update their bylaws on a yearly basis. And it needs to be comprised of freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. It needs to have a various group of individuals from all different backgrounds being able to bring their ideas and their guidance and leadership together. I don't want to say to always give out punishments, but to set the rules for the chapter and to give everyone an idea of what the expectations are when being a member of Delta Tau Delta. Obviously, giving the risk management presentation yearly, if not twice yearly, to the entire chapter is very important so that they know the rules, what's allowed, what's not allowed. Put it in blatant terms. No gray areas. Undergraduates don't understand that. They won't pick up on it. I think it's very important that the alumni have presence at the chapter house with the individuals constantly. It's very hard to go to a chapter meeting where 60 or 70 brothers might be and just say, don't drink if you're underage. It's easier to go to an exec committee member or an exec committee meeting and speak with a few individuals, I guess more so the leaders in the house, and get them to understand the main points and then have them push those to the rest of the chapter. If you get the undergraduates to start thinking appropriately and with the same ideas that you have, it's much easier for them to live up to that rather than going there and telling them what to do. The MRG is available online through the fraternity's website. It stands for Management Responsibility Guidelines. It's updated every year, and it's a PowerPoint presentation along with a packet that can be given to all members of the chapter. The 5 W's of who, what, why, when, and where are very important to look at in terms of a risk management standpoint. The who, for any event, who's going to be involved, who's going to be there, who's at the chapter house or who's at the event, and kind of looking at that to kind of alleviate the risk. Are girls involved? Are underage people going to be there? If so, will there be alcohol? What's going to be taking place? Is it a party? Is it a fundraising event? Is it an event for alumni? Why? Why are they doing it? Are they doing it just to be drinking, to have fun with their fraternity brothers? When is it going to be taking place? A lot of times undergraduates want to have parties on school nights, and that can create a lot of risk with the university. And where? Is it going to be at the chapter house? Is it off campus? One misconception is that if just a few brothers are involved in a party off campus, that it's not a Delt event, and that is wrong. As long as there are Delts there, it can be considered a Delt event. So all of those things open up risk for the chapter, and no chapter is free from risk. Any chapter can have risk, bad risk, and it's putting the proper steps in place and making sure that all bases are covered to prevent that as much as possible. The best time to call 911 is when you're ever afraid that a tragedy is going to happen. Never be afraid to call. Never be afraid to advise an undergraduate to call 911. It's always easier to deal with the repercussions of sanctions on campus or being put on probation rather than having to deal with a tragedy with the loss of someone's life. Fraternity's stance on hazing is very simple: zero tolerance. I think that hazing comes in all shapes and forms. It's not only physical abuse anymore. Sometimes it's mental, emotional, and simple tasks that just create a division among the members in the house compared to the pledges. When it comes to hazing, I believe the undergraduates are not very good about hiding it. As long as you have a presence at the chapter house on a routine basis, you're going to pick up on hazing and if it's actually taking place. Whether or not it's individuals just blatantly telling you what they're doing with pledges or what they're requiring them to do, or you might hear it from other chapters on campus, or the director of Greek life may actually pick up the phone and call you. If you know that it's going on, you have to stop it. You have to do everything in your power to make sure that it stops. One of the easiest ways is to just sit down with the chapter president and the Pledge Ed board and walk through what's going on and explain to them why it cannot continue to happen. One thing that we do at our chapter is at the beginning of pledgeship, all the advising team sits down with the actual pledge group, no undergraduates present, and we just talk to them about hazing. We explain what's okay, what's not okay. We give them our personal cell phone numbers, and if at any point in time they feel uncomfortable, or if they're being asked to do something that would be defined as hazing, they're to call us immediately. It's very important to know that we are the only fraternity that has designed a hotline specifically for individuals who have been hazed or are being hazed. It's available 24 hours a day, and it's used by other Greek organizations as well. For undergraduates, it's very hard for them to get past the Saturday night party with the girls and the alcohol, and they don't get the big picture. That's where it's very crucial for alumni to get plugged in, get involved with the chapter so that they see the big picture, so that they see the risk involved with underage drinking, with the common blackout drinking that you hear of chapters, and just the treatment of girls and other people on campus. It opens up so much risk to those individuals, their family, and also the volunteers of the chapter. And alumni want to have a house to come back to. They want to have a place to celebrate on homecoming, to come back and see their picture and their composite on the wall. And if risk continues to occur, hazing continues to occur in the chapter house, and it's very easy for those doors to be closed.